Hello, my name is Rachel Herrera and I lead customer success here at Kubit. At Kubit, we allow you to get the most value out of your warehouse data by connecting directly to it and allowing you to build rich customer journey insights. In this demo, I'd love to show you what it feels like for a product manager to use Kubit at Acme Streaming Organization and understand spikes and anomalies within their data. To get us started, here is our dashboard that we at Acme look at every day. And as a product manager, I'm most interested in understanding if recent releases or marketing campaigns are having positive or negative impacts on things like daily active users and consumption conversion. When I take a look at my dashboard, I can see a really noticeable spike on 6/3 where our user counts nearly doubled. This looks great on the surface, and I definitely want to learn more about what might be happening here. Rather than going to an analyst and asking them to pull me a report, I can just simply click into this report in Kubit and make an additional adjustments or changes so that I can get more context. One way to do this would be to add a breakdown by a field within Kubit. In this case, I chose app. When I re-execute, I'm effectively running a SQL query against your warehouse, so all of the data that gets returned is from your single source of truth. After my query is returned, now I can quickly see the difference between Android daily users and iOS. The iOS numbers remain fairly consistent over the week. It's Android that has taken that spike. So this is where I know I need to look to understand how these users are behaving downstream. One concern I have from an influx quite this large is that materializing in more content consumption, which is our North Star metric. I'm going to go ahead and take this report here, save it because now it is mine, and add it to what we call a scratch pad. This is sort of like a workbench or a notepad that I can start to create to build my story. In this case, I've already started one for this June 3rd spike, and I'm going to continue adding content to it as we go through. If I go back to my KPI dashboard here, the other really critical thing I want to look at is drop-off. This is our main conversion funnel here, showing users on the main landing page all the way to completing a stream. If I click into this report here, now I can take some adjustments and see if these Android users are performing better or worse than the overall. I'm going to filter this report to just Android, and I'm also going to look at it daily so that I have a better understanding of trending over time. When my results complete, now I can see a conversion funnel for each day of the past 7 days. And on June 3rd, we see our spike of users. We go from about 762 users entering this funnel to over 3,000. Now, where we've typically seen roughly an 80% conversion on step 2 of users searching for content, in these subsequent days, we see an incredibly lower conversion rate, which is very concerning. This means these new users we've acquired are not very engaged or particularly sticky within the product. In addition to visually looking at these insights, I can also ask Kubit's Lumos AI feature to give me some AI-guided summaries, insights, and takeaways from the results on the page. When I run Lumos, it does also recognize that this abrupt and significant increase on June 3rd is something to take note of, but ultimately did not result in significant conversion, and in fact, a large number of these users dropped off at the search content step. It also gives me summary statistics about highs and lows within my dataset, as well as investigation and recommendations where I can take things next. I'm going to go ahead and add this to my scratch pad as well, so that I have a bit more context and understanding of the impact of these new users. In my scratch pad, I can also add notes like something around these new users are not engaged. I can continue my analysis and investigation, but at this point I have a pretty good understanding of the fact that on June 3rd, our Android user base spiked, but it did not result in a much higher consumption rate, and so these are not high quality users. If I, for example, maybe had a marketing campaign that launched on that day, in Kubit I can turn on what we call incidents, and I see in fact, wow, the Northland campaign launched. So I need to go probably talk to marketing to understand what the target audience of that might be and how we can adjust our spend there so we don't continue to invest in that channel. I hope you enjoyed this demo, and thank you so much for checking out Kubit.